Now that we're in December, it's a great time to sit and have a think about what has happened in our practice or business this year and what we would like for the new year. December can be a much quieter time in our businesses, so it's a great time of year to be able to reflect and have a look at what has worked and what hasn't worked and what we would like for the new year. Just a quick interruption to this video. My daughter is off sick today. She has a chest infection, which means she is coughing non-stop. So if you hear that in the background, I'm really sorry, and I hope it doesn't distract too much. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kim. I help therapists in private practice get online, get confident with admin, and reduce tech overwhelm. So what we're doing this month is really like an end of year business series. We're going to be talking about all things business related that we need to look at in December to get us ready for the new year. So the first thing we need to do really is review and reflect. We can't make decisions on things like systems and finances and all that kind of stuff if we haven't reviewed or reflected on our year. So that's what we're going to do today. I have been journaling for about 2 years now, and it all started when I did my client's signature course, the Recondition Your Life Academy. Her name's Lauren Vakneen, and she taught me all about journaling and the importance of it. Now, I love to journal when there's something I need to get out of my system. If maybe I am debating on something or I'm worrying about something or anything like that, I do a big journaling session. But what I also like to do every day is a 5-minute daily reflection. I find it really hard to remember what happened last week or sometimes even yesterday, whatever that says about my brain, but I find it really hard. So if somebody says to me, what did you do last week? Unless I have something written down, I find it really hard to just remember that. So someone once said to me, oh, you've been really ill this year. And I was like, have I? Because I hadn't really noticed that, but she'd obviously remembered that I had been ill a lot. And it's something that I hadn't known about myself. So what I started doing this year was 5-minute daily prompts. So it's just 4 questions, and I learned this from Jenna Kutcher, who is an online marketing expert, whatever. And basically, it's just 4 questions. So I'm going to put those questions on the screen. And I've been doing that every day, which has really been helping me to look back. So I like to look at it on a sort of quarterly basis, have a quick flick through, spend sort of an hour just looking back over my quarter so that I can make my goals for the next quarter. So it really helps me work out what wasn't working, what was working. So the 4 questions are, how are you really? So it's just a scale of 1 to 10, and it just says, how am I feeling in myself? So I do this at the end of the day, and I'll say, how do I feel at the end of the day today? And that's on a scale of 1 to 10. So it's really easy to kind of circle one of those things. The next question is, what excited me today? So this is something that you would write about, and you only need to spend a couple of minutes on it. It's just, what was the thing that made me excited today? The third question is, what drained me today? So what didn't I really enjoy? What really took my energy out of me? And sometimes this can be business related and sometimes it can be personal. So it's just whatever kind of comes to mind first. That's how I do these prompts. And then the 4th and final question is, what did I learn about myself today? So this could be a reflection on one of the other questions. So something that I enjoyed that maybe I wasn't looking forward to before, or something that drained me and what that says about me. So doing these 4 questions every single day as a small kind of journaling practice has really helped me in my business. So I want to encourage you to maybe start that journaling practice for yourself now or in the new year. But what we're going to do today is we're going to review and reflect on the whole year. So if you're like me and find that really hard, it might take you a little bit longer. But I'd love it if you could do it along with the YouTube video. So you can pause the video and write about what it is that comes up for you. So take some time and really get into this, because if you don't think about these things, the good, the bad, and the ugly sometimes, it can be really hard for you to make the right decisions next year that's really going to pay off in your business. So you're not just doing the same old all the time. You're really thinking about what happened. So in this week's video, we're going to review and reflect. Next week, we're going to talk about systems. And the final week, we're going to talk about finances. So this is really going to set you up to be able to watch the next 2 videos and take the most from them. So let's get started. So we'll start on a positive note, and we're going to journal about what worked well for you. So this might take some thinking, or maybe you've got loads of things coming to mind that has worked really well for you. So I'm going to give you some examples for private practice. Maybe you've got some great new clients that you're really excited to work with. Maybe you picked your niche and you really found your flow with the clients that you work with the best. Maybe you got your Psychology Today profile up, and maybe you put your fee up this year for the first time. So there's some examples, but it basically could be anything to do with your private practice, what worked well for you. I'll give you a few examples of mine. So the first thing was I got really focused on what I wanted my goals to be each quarter. I've talked a lot about the book, The 12-Week Year, and that's really opened my eyes to goal planning and action taking. So implementing that each quarter has been a really good thing for my business and went really well for me. The second one is that we really streamlined who we are working with. Part of that was forced upon me. If you have been with me for a while and you watched my videos from the beginning of the year, you'll know that I had some trouble right at the beginning with losing a couple of VAs and then clients not having a VA and me having to scramble to kind of fix that situation. But that situation actually brought about me realizing that working with more and more clients and growing the agency is not the direction I want to take my business. So although that started out really bad and was really stressful, it actually worked out for the best and got me really focused on where I wanted to take the business. I've been in some really great coaching groups and got a couple of new mentors for my business, and that has worked really well too. It's helped me learn about things that I wasn't focused on before and now I am focused on. So that's worked really well for me too, being able to be in these different kind of coaching groups and learn from other people. And I also feel like I've got my team in the right place. So I have the people that work for me and the roles that they are doing in my business, not just for clients, but for me personally, has been working really well also. So take a few minutes and write down what has been working well for you. Okay, the second journal prompt or reflection is what didn't work well for you this year. Unfortunately, avoiding and ignoring these kind of negative side of the business is not going to mean that they go away. And actually, it's going to be much harder for you to make the right decisions for your business if you don't know what wasn't working well for you. So you need to be really honest with yourself. You know, no one's going to see this. It's just for you. So you want to be really honest and say what wasn't working. What did you not enjoy? Things like that. So for example, maybe you really wanted to fill your practice this year and work full time, but you weren't able to do that. And there can be reasons why this didn't happen, but it just didn't work out for you this year. Maybe you didn't keep on top of your bookkeeping and now your self-assessment is due at the end of next month and you're really worried about getting it done and how you're going to pull everything together. And maybe you really wanted to finish your website, but you didn't get round to it for one reason or another. So there's some examples of things that might not have gone well for you this year. For me personally, I realized that I spent a lot of time on client work as opposed to working in my own business. And that is definitely something I want to flip around next year and really reduce the amount of time I'm working for clients and really just focus on my own business, because it's all well and good helping other people grow. But if I'm not growing as well, if I'm not growing my own business, I'm really just letting myself down, and I know that I need to focus on my own stuff. Something that ties in with that is that I really didn't sell much this year. So like I said, we downsized our clients, which was great, but it also means that we didn't grow the client side of the business, which was purposeful. But I also didn't really focus on selling anything in the other side of my business, which is online courses and things like that. I did do a couple of small launches, but I really didn't put my all into it. And I know there's reasons behind that. One of them being, if I don't put my all into it, I can't be disappointed with the outcome. So I can always say, well, I only did it half-heartedly, or, well, I could have done more and I would have got better results. Whereas if I really put my all into it and I still don't get the results that I want, I don't know where to go with that. So there are reasons I do that, and I've recognized that, but I really want to change that next year as well, because I'm not really helping anyone if I don't put them into the hands of the people that need them. I'm not really helping. So that is something that I need to work on. And one final example is I created 2 limited companies this year, which I was super excited to do. But then I had to get some accounting software, and I've been doing my bookkeeping the same way. So the spreadsheet that I sell to people in private practice to help them do their bookkeeping, I have used that forever, and I still use that to this day. That is completely up to date, and I know where my finances are at, but I haven't been doing that on the accounting software. I really don't enjoy using the software. I feel like I'm duplicating work that I'm doing. So I'm really behind with that. Even like payroll, I am an employee of my own company, and I forgot to pay myself. Like, I physically pay myself with the money, but I forgot to do that on the system. And then my sister, who is my accountant, was like, you really need to do this because you can get fined. So that has definitely not been working well for me, and something that I want to change for next year. I don't want to do it myself, so I've realised that I really need a bookkeeper to help me with that. Okay, the third big journaling question is, how have you maintained your physical and mental health? How are you feeling in yourself at the moment? So I don't know if you can tell by my voice, I have definitely got my daughter's chest infection. We've been co-sleeping together because it helps her get rest at night. I think that close contact has definitely spread her germs around, and I've definitely got what she's got, and I'm feeling really run down with that. It's hard to breathe, and all this talking is not helping. But so my physical health is definitely, like, if I gave it a score at the moment, it would be at a 3, I would say. Whereas I feel my mental health is in a really good place at the moment. So what have you done to maintain that? So some examples could be, you booked all your holidays or time off in advance, and you knew that you would need that time off every 6 weeks or something like that, and you made sure to book some time off in your calendar. Maybe you outsource something that you don't want to do, don't have time to do, affects your physical and mental health. That could be in your business or in your home. So you could have got a virtual assistant or a cleaner, for example. And maybe you've started some kind of physical activity. Maybe you booked swimming once a week or something like that. So have a think about what you've done to help your own physical and mental health. For me, I've definitely not been great in the health department. I only have between 9 and sort of 2:30 to work. So I try and get so much into that day, and I do loads of good things. You know, I time block, I reduce my distractions, like all the stuff I'm supposed to do, but I still only have 5.5 hours to work and eat. So in summer and spring and even sort of mid-autumn, I was doing really well with getting out and walking every single day. But now it's super cold. I hate being cold. So I have just been sat here, and I really don't get any physical exercise whatsoever, like none. I also really want to get a MOT. I turn 40 next year, so I think it's a really good time to kind of check in with what's going on with me and see what supplements my body could do with. I don't want to just grab a multivitamin or something. I really want to look at, okay, what is my body deficient in and what could it use to help me? I have a feeling of what things I need, but I'd really like to get that check done and get those supplements ordered so that I can take them. One thing that I really missed out on this year, and I know this is a super, a privileged thing to have, but I didn't get to go abroad this year. And I don't know if it's being a summer baby, I don't know what it is, but not going on an aeroplane really affected me. And the holiday we did have was not good at all because I slipped a disc the minute we were leaving the house. So the whole holiday was ruined. I couldn't walk properly. I was in pain the whole time. And the kids really suffered too, because I am a really good mum outside the house. Like, I love, rock climbing with them and throwing them around on the beach and playing with them. And I wasn't able to do any of that. So the whole family kind of suffered from me not being okay. And so that really made me take stock of my physical health, which is when I started doing all the walking. But also made me realize that holidays are really important to me. And actually, I need to make sure that I'm saving so that we can go on a holiday, because that's more important to me than things like adventures and experiences are really what help my mental health. And I don't need, the latest bag or shoes or whatever, but I need a holiday abroad on a plane with sun and heat. The daily journaling has also been great for my mental health and really helped me look at what isn't working for me. So all those things that I was dreading, for example, was there patterns in that? And could I then avoid those? Is there something I could give to somebody else? Is there something I could do to stop doing what I'm needing to do that I'm dreading? So it's been really good to kind of keep that daily journal and look back each quarter when I'm doing my planning session, so that I can look and see, oh, I realized that this theme came up a lot, whether good or bad, and I could either do more of it or do less of it. Right, we're now going to do some quick fire questions. So I've got my iPad here, and I really want you to think about the first thing that comes to mind when I ask you these questions. Okay, so the first one is, what has made the greatest impact in your business this year? Now, this could be a person, a system, a platform, anything that's had a real positive impact on your business. Okay, the second question. What was a waste of your time or money? So did you invest in a system and you weren't using it till its full potential, or it didn't do what you thought it was going to do? Did you try and take on an assistant, but for some reason that didn't work out? So what was the biggest waste of your time or money? What could you add to your practice that would have a big impact? So if you think about some of the things that didn't work well, what could you do that would make a really big impact? So for example, with me and the bookkeeping, that would make a huge impact in my business, because I now have 9 months worth of bookkeeping to do. And do I want to do that? No, I absolutely do not. So getting a bookkeeper for me is going to make the biggest impact for me personally in my business right now. If I was thinking about right now, what would that be? That would be it. Where are you wasting money in your practice? So if you have been on top of your bookkeeping and you look at your expenses, where are you wasting the most money? Some of that might not even appear on your spreadsheet, because actually it could be a lot of time that you're wasting doing something that isn't accounted for, but actually you're losing a lot of revenue potential by spending all your time on that. What would you like to learn next year? So this could be a new modality for you in your practice, or it could be a new system that you want to implement that's going to save you time. So what is it that you'd like to learn next year? What do you not enjoy doing in your practice? And how could you eliminate this from your workload? So again, this could be a system, it could be a person. What is the thing that you do in your practice that you dread the most? And actually maybe doing this 5-minute journaling exercise next year can help you find out this information. And finally, how could you improve the client experience? What could you implement in your practice to improve your client's experience of working with you? This could be lots of stuff. And also I have a freebie called the Private Practice Workflow, and this could really help you find out that information. So I'll leave a link for that free resource in the description. And then at some point you can just fill in that workbook, and that's really going to help you with that one. So how could you improve the client's experience? Okay, so that is it for our review and reflect session. Next week, we are going to be talking about systems. And in the final week, we are going to be talking about finances. And in January, we are going to be doing a whole month about goal setting. So you don't want to miss that. I'm going to be talking to you about the 12-week year. I have a free workshop that I'm putting on at the end of January to really help you craft your vision for 2024 and help you set goals. So I'm going to be giving some previews of that in YouTube videos, and also sending you the invite to that workshop. It's going to be amazing, and it's really going to set you up for the year. So for now, thanks so much for watching.